11.7, 24/7. Today, we have the founder of 11.7, Ben Upton, on the call. Also, the number one supporter of the Ticonderoga number 2 pencil in Jack DeLongchamps, and Mr. No Offseason, myself, Noah Bieniek. I guess 11.7, 24/7 is just a series of a bunch of creative ideas I have for the offseason. Some days I'll ride solo. Some days I'll have some 11.7 contributors with me, or I can even bring on one of my buddies from the baseball content world. But today we're going to lay the foundation for you guys for the entire offseason. We are going to draft teams that we feel best about going into the 2026 season. The windshield, it's bigger than the rearview mirror, as they say, boys. 2025 was fun, but there's been so many coaching changes, transfers, new freshmen arriving on campus since the season concluded. This set of us drafting college baseball rankings is going to attempt to take all of that into account, as we've done a little bits and research here and there, and changes are bound to be made. This is why it's the way too early top 10 for college baseball. But guys, I don't need the number 1 overall pick. It's up to you guys how we want to decide this. Ben, Jack, welcome to the call. Who wants number 1 overall?
I think this is your show now, Noah. You get number 1.
I think it's no off-season Noah.
No off-season Noah. Way to coin that term.
I mean, we're riding. And I'm riding with my number 1 team going into 2026, the Texas Longhorns. Coach Jim Schlossnagel's bunch. They were picked 8th last year in the SEC preseason, and we all know what happened next. A historic league start. They went 18-2 in their first 20 games. That led to a regular season SEC championship. Then just a bunch of injuries, and they were kind of leaking gas, leaking oil down the stretch of the season. But Schlossnagel inked his contract after the 2024 College World Series. Therefore, he kind of had a late start in the transfer portal, but he kept a lot of those players that he inherited from the previous regime. It's not a slight to that team in 2025, but obviously they won a conference title. But the 2025 Longhorns could very well be ranked near the bottom of the list, in my opinion, when it comes to raw talent under Texas teams coached by Schloss. The Texas pitching staff, I think, has the highest floor in the country, coached by Max Weiner. In 2026, as they return Luke Harrison, Dylan Valanis, Max Grubbs, Ruger Riojas, and Thomas Burns. I think they'll have a super consistent weekend rotation between Harrison and Valanis, and Grubbs is what I would assume. They have Riojas, I would think, slipping back into a leverage bullpen role where he excelled in 2025. And then you have Thomas Burns, and then left-handed Wake Forest transfer Hayden LeFew to round out the back end there. And then on the offensive side, they have some pieces to replace Max Ballou, Rylan Galvan, Jalen Flores, Kimball Schussler. They all depart after building that year 1 for Schloss, but also Will Gasparino, a regular starter in the outfield, transferred out as well. But they bring back Ethan Mendoza, the number 1 piece that Coach Schloss wanted to get into that 2025 team from the transfer portal. Also, Adrian Rodriguez. Those 2 are big pillars in this lineup for 2026. Impact incoming transfers are Carson Tinney, Notre Dame catcher from a year ago. He had a 1251 OPS. Aiden Robbins from Seton Hall. He's an outfielder. First baseman Josh Livingston from Wichita State. And Timo Becerra, Stanford shortstop. For my money, Tinney was the best catcher in the portal. He was a monster offensively in the second half. And the Fighting Irish pitching staff, I thought, vastly overperformed expectations. And Robbins led qualified Cape Cod League hitters in both average and OPS. Jack, you went to the Cape Cod League this summer. Did you get eyes on Aiden Robbins? But in general, what are your thoughts on the Longhorns for 2026?
Yeah, I think Carson Tinney, when you match that size with his plate discipline, his chase rate's so low for a dude that absolutely hits mammos. He's a really, really fun project. A guy that'll learn a ton with that pitching staff with Max Winter, who feels like every guy he gets back there just becomes a pitcher's best friend. So a lot to be excited about with Carson Tinney. I think Ashton Larson is the wild card, though, for them when it comes to impact bats. A guy that's maybe battled some injuries throughout his collegiate career, but if he is healthy, man, he is just as good as anybody that could platoon one of those corner spots for the Horns this year.
Ben, let's give you the number 2 overall pick. Where you want to go here?
So it was between two teams that I think are going to be, I don't know, much more well-rounded this year. I'll go ahead and I'll take the Clemson Tigers as my first pick. I just think that between what they return both on the mountain and on the diamond, and then the newcomers they have coming in, it feels like a team that Coach Bakich enters the year, or at least enters the offseason as like this is an Omaha team or bust type of time. So I'll go Clemson Tigers number 2 overall.
Interesting. I don't know if I'm necessarily as high on my guy Eric Bakich and his squad again for 26. It kind of felt like they won a lot of games that maybe they on paper probably shouldn't have. Offensively, I thought they were a little weaker last year just on paper. And I think they really overperformed compared to expectations. And I believe in Bakich to be a good coach, and he'll have them competing in the ACC. But second overall, I give you kudos for the boldness on that pick, Ben.
Did you not? I mean, their transfer portal was unreal this summer, though.
I think they lost a couple of the guys that you might be thinking of to the draft.
No, he did not. Hey, tell him, put him on, Mercer Bear Nation, put him on.
Yeah,
Dowley's
Dowley's
on campus. I know that, but Weidman's gone.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right. It's all right. Jack, you want to go number 3 overall here?
Yeah, I'll go chalk. I'll go where everyone thinks I'm going. Give me the Arkansas Razorbacks. The Hill suffering a tough loss in Omaha. But I think what they did in the offseason, replacing obviously a Golden Spikes winner in Vihiva Aloy, Charles Davalon, who hit 3+ double-digit homers, great outfield. I think what they were able to do to fill both of those spots in particular, Mike Anu was the Cape Cod MVP this year, and Marshall transfer, to get to see him in person, so quick, twitchy, really dangerous in the box, kind of looks like a running back in the theme of doing these in the fall. Pair that with a guy in Kahio Aloy who won the Cape Cod Home Run Derby. You look for him to have another breakout year. Like his brother wins the Golden Spikes, and Kahio hits like the quietest 340, 18 pump season in the SEC of all time. I think he takes on a bigger role this year. Now, the big question mark obviously is going to be on the mound, right? No Zach Root, no Gage Wood. Jimenez gone. Does anybody doubt that Arkansas won't find like a new crop of like first rounders? No, I'm cool. I'll take the EVH to get back to Omaha. I love Arkansas. Love what they were able to do. And especially too, like those guys you watch in the summer, and obviously the portal and the money that's being thrown around, like it's great for college baseball. But like Arkansas goes and gets their type of guys, like, and they just feel like Razorbacks. Bring back Cam Kojal, who played really well in the Cape as well this season, but like he was kind of the heart of their culture last year with some of the crazy fishing stories. Love a team that knows themselves, and I think this is a team that'll be back right where they were this year.
I'll help you out too, Jack. The question being the pitching staff, there's nothing better than an experienced catcher. Ryder Helfrich, Team USA guy as well. And he's been there, done that with a top 5 pitching staff like they were in 2025. Gabe Gackle, Cole Gibler. Who knows what Ethan McIlvain, a Vanderbilt transfer, might provide to them on the bump this year. But yeah, that very talented staff. And I'm betting on Arkansas to be able to figure it out rather than the opposite there. Number 4 overall, you're back up, bud.
Are we snaking?
Yeah, we're snaking.
Oh, we're snaking. Where do I want to go?
I think you want to go to the Bayou.
Should I go? Yeah. You know what? I'll cornerstone this piece. I'll go back-to-back chalkity chalks, and then I'll go wild card with my 3 round. Here's the problem with my pick here. LSU, Jay Johnson, 2 championships, 3 years. Ben, they brought in your favorite player. The little apples head to the bayou, and I've never met an individual on the brink of stardom quite like Zach York heading to LSU this offseason. Pair that with a guy like Trent Caraway. LSU expanded their horizon, and they went out to the West Coast and went fishing for some monsters. Zach York is going to average exit velo 117 miles per hour at the box. He's going to hit 37 home runs, and they might, I know that the Creole Bambino is an 11.7 hero. Cade Beloso has got a lefty brother that's got a very similar swing, open stance, crazy bat whip. They absolutely let it fly. Both DH for that team. To me, what LSU will continue to do, you lose a lot on the mound, obviously. But when you get Stephen Milam and Jake Brown, again, two cornerstone pieces at the top of that lineup, but I think when you look at what they're going to do on the mound, it's kind of exciting. Maverick Rizzi was the name that everybody talked about this summer. Can't teach 6'11", 255, but he's just got such great feel, unbelievable maturity. I look for him to take a big step this year as well.
Yeah. Also on the mound, you've got, Kason Evans, who had he might be the ace this year. He had so many big moments down the stretch of last year in the season. Zach Cowan was an unbelievable starting pitcher in the SoCon 2 years ago. William Schmidt was a top 15 undisputed prospect in the 2024 MLB draft. He's still on campus. Jaden Newt had a 4.13 ERA last year, and they also brought in the best starting pitcher on Kansas from last season in Cooper Moore. So I think they got a lot of pieces on the bump. Trent Caraway is also in Baton Rouge this season for LSU, alongside Seth Dardar, a big time hitter from Kansas State, and another one of our mid-major favorites, Braden Simpson. I really like this LSU team to go along with Derek Curiel and Stephen Milam, and a really good core that returns from that 2025 championship team. Ben, 5 overall.
Yeah, with the number 5 overall pick, I think UCLA is screaming to me right now. And they return a ton from that Omaha team from last year, including probably the best player in college baseball, Rock Chalowski. We got to see him up close and personal in Omaha, and it's a size difference that we haven't really seen from UCLA in a decade plus. These guys are big, athletic, twitchy, and it's not only on the mounds. Like, we're used to seeing bigger framed pitchers from UCLA. Easton Hawk was just so impressive to watch throw the baseball. But it's also guys like they get Will Gasparino coming from Texas, like big, lanky guy with some big pop. Roman Martin was somebody that put on a show in BP last year. I just think UCLA finally has the formula down where they used to be, let's go get the best recruits in high school. Oh, we just lost them to the draft. Like, now we're scrambling for players. They're finally figuring out the new system of the transfer portal and getting guys to stay on campus and play for the team. So give me UCLA. I'm pretty confident in that one.
Yeah, I think there's a super high floor here, guys. They return 8 starting position players and a good chunk of innings from that 25 team that went to the College World Series. They return the entire infield. You mentioned Chalowski and Roman Martin, but also Mulavai Levu, Phoenix Call. They bring back their catcher, Cashel Duggar. And then a guy that I want everybody to keep their eye on is Will Gasparino. He joins that outfield that's going to be patrolled by Dean West and Peyton Brennan. That's 3 center fielders for my money there. And Gasparino's pops is Billy Gasparino, the vice president of baseball operations for the LA Dodgers. So he's back in kind of his hometown area, the Harvard Westlake grad, moving closer to home for his draft year. That might help him for a full great season, because I saw him for 5 games last year, and he was a stud and unbelievable in all 5 of them. So I can't wait to see what he's got there. And I think my one question is, like, who's going to be the ace? Who steps up here? Is it going to be Landon Stump? Maybe like a talented Wyland Moss? They did get a big-time freshman, Angel Cervantes, to campus here. So meaningful innings to go around for the Bruins this season. But Jack, any thoughts on UCLA before we get to my pick?
Billy Gasparino, just as big as his son. That guy looks like he could still play too.
I'm going to take you guys to TCU. Coach Sarlos his 2026 bunch has a ton of continuity from 2025 and just star power. TCU brings back 6 starters in the lineup and 8 of their top 10 arms in 2025 innings pitched. You have Sawyer Strauss-Snyder, who you have Sawyer Strauss-Snyder. Good.
Go Stros.
Sawyer Strauss-Snyder took the world by storm in his first season, getting named freshman hitter of the year. He batted .350 with a 1070 OPS. He is draft eligible for this season, so I think this is Omaha or bust for this Horned Frogs bunch. You have their ace coming back as well in Tommy Laporte, who had a 309 ERA last season. He's going to play a gigantic role once again this year with just that energetic unit frame. He just dominates hitters with a high 90s fastball and a slider to go with it. They bring back Mason Brassfield, Luis Rodriguez, Nate Stern, Cade Udy, and Trevor Baumler. They're going to patch together a bulk of meaningful innings during the weekend, and I think the lineup this time around, the past couple of years, maybe TCU fans, team, Coach Sarlos himself might not love the top 5, top 10 hype because of what happened in 2023 season when they were top 5 in the preseason. However, I think it's merited for this season. Cole Kramer, Chase Brunson, Noah Franco, Nolan Traeger, they all hit over 300 with an above 850 OPS last season. They're back on campus. They support Strauss-Snyder with a good core. And then one last name to watch is not Noah Franco's brother, but they have the same last name, Lucas Franco. He could be a superstar freshman shortstop in 2026 here. Any thoughts on TCU before we get to the third round?
Yeah, you stole my pick. I thought they would slip to me. I do like the Horned Frogs a lot next year.
I have two things. First off, you made great analysis, unbelievable breakdown. Some people are starting to call you the Mel Kiper of the college baseball world. What I would say is you're just no off-season Noah, but you did miss. They're going to be really good this year because Kirk Sarlos doubled down on the flip-flop game. His rainbows are flopping harder than ever, and that's why they're going to be really good. So I'm not really sure where all this love for TCU came out of, but I'm glad people are starting to finally catch up because 11.7, we've been on the right frequency the entire time. He's a sandals wearer. We get it. He's a beast.
And before we wrap up 11.7 24/7, the first edition of this series, let's talk about home field apparel. Our guy Jack went down to Tallahassee this past weekend, saw a huge upset as they pulled off a 2-touchdown upset over Alabama. Use code CWS25 for 15% off. And who knows, maybe you're on the field rushing the gridiron with some home field apparel threads across your chest. Jack, favorite line of apparel, maybe a shirt that from Florida State that you love, maybe a hat. What you got over there for us this time around?
The Heritage Blue, ladies and gentlemen, Florida State, repping it clean. And if you'd allow me, I'll make my third and final pick right now if you want me to. I'm a Kool-Aid guy.
That's silky. They weren't my team, so if you want to go, I'll allow you to trade up in picks.
No, I'll respect the snake. I respect this game too much.
We respect the snake. My third and final team, this would be, 7th overall. Guys, Auburn loses a superstar in Ike Irish and a stalwart in Cooper McMurray. But with that said, last season always kind of felt for me like the Tigers were 1 year away. That year is 2026 with promising freshmen Chris Rembert, Bub Terrell, Chase Freilich, Christian Chatterton, Andreas Alvarez, Connor Gatwood healthy. They all return for their second season in the program. How far into the NCAA tournament Auburn goes depends on whether these sophomores step into stardom or slumps. Coach Butch Thompson raised his squad's floor significantly by filling in some of the pitching staff's holes. You got Drew Whalen from Western Kentucky with a 3.53 ERA coming into town here, and also Jake Marciano from Virginia Tech. They're in Auburn for 2026 and will most likely assume starting roles, to my assumption. In 2025, Whalen, he was the Conference USA Pitcher of the Year. Marciano punched out 71 with only 18 free passes and 14 starts as a southpaw freshman in the ACC. These are better transfer additions than, for example, a Cade Fisher who came to Auburn after being relegated to Florida's bullpen. No shade to Fisher, but I'm just much higher on these additions rather than last year's. And that's why I'm much higher on Auburn in 2026 than I was in 2025. I think Butch Thompson's group is very good for this upcoming season.
That's a good pick too. I mean, we all saw it last year in the super regionals and regional play. It was like freshman, junior, freshman, sophomore, freshman. Like they started so many freshmen late in the year, and they all produced. Like Auburn's a really good pick there.
You're up, 8th overall pick.
Yeah, look, I think for me, there's a bunch of teams that are worthy of being on this list. There really are. But I'm going more vibes / player development / winning program. And there's no reason not to say the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers won't be back next year. I mean, what they proved to the world over the last 35 games in 2025 was special, and it's more about, hey, we don't need to go to the transfer portal, we don't need to do this, we don't have to do that. Like, we're going to develop our players, and our players are going to be gamers, and we're going to win a lot of baseball games. So for me, I mean, you get Cam Flukie coming back, which is a big piece, and like he's going to eat up innings every Friday. He might not lose a Friday night start all year. But you even get like Thorndike coming back. You get I'm blanking on a bunch of other guys that they're returning, but like they do have a solid core guys returning from the runner-up finish in 2025. So like, give me Coach Schnall, like give me the Oxenander, like the whole coaching staff. They're running the ship the right way. So give me Coastal.
Oxendine, right? Chad Oxendine.
Oxendine.
Yeah.
Mickey B.
I love the Coastal pick. They are going to be back, and yeah, I mean, Cameron Flukie might work his way into a top 15 pick in the first round this year if he keeps up what he was doing late in the season in 2025. Jack, round us out. Pick number 9.
Give me the Noles. Big Kool-Aid guy, was just on campus down in Tallahassee. Link Jarrett, Ty McGahee, his right-hand man and recruiting coordinator. Like, they're relocking, they're reloading. I understand that you lose a Golden Spikes candidate, but I got to meet their corner infield over the weekend. Those interviews will be dropping soon. Miles Bailey and Cal Fisher. I've now reached the age at a ripe 28. Well, when you get to shake a 20-year-old's hand and go, man, that kid just alphaed the shit out of me. Dude, boys, Miles Bailey's going to hit a ball 480 feet this year, and you're all going to go, excuse me?
Yeah.
Excuse me, can't me. He did. He went 478 last year. He can go 480 again this year.
Yeah.
But what I think you're going to see is, and this was a lot of the conversation about his summertime, like you can see the game slowing down a little bit, the maturity in the box. And I think he carries that over into this year. Cal Fisher on the other side playing the hot corner, really, really smooth, another really polished bat. And I think they just continue to get better every year. Also, I learned that Link Jarrett grew up quite literally 400 yards away from Dick Hauser. I didn't know that. He grew up in Tally. His grandparents were like on campus, and he grew up about 400 yards away from Dick Hauser. He's never leaving. Right. And I think what they're building is not only super sustainable, but it's something that this fan base can really get behind. They're nuts, and they're nuts in the best kind of way. And I think it's a program with a lot of excitement. Obviously, you lose Jamie Arnold as well, and got to speak to a dude who I think takes a bigger role this year in Wes Mendez, a southpaw with really good stuff, big breaking ball, changeup, I believe, was second highest use rate in the ACC last year. Don't quote me on that. 643 charts, they'll tell you for sure, though. But, yeah, I think Florida State's a really, really fun team. So, yes, let me put my Florida State hat back on. I'm all on the bandwagon. Noles Nation, let's ride.
Noles.
Coolest logo in sports right there.
It is one of them for sure.
Osceola rocks.
It's honorable mention time. We are going to build off of this list. This isn't the end of this exercise. We're going to keep expanding on the top 10. It'll turn into the top 25. It'll turn into the top 50. It'll turn into the mid-major top 25 soon enough. The short list of my kind of honorable mentions here, North Carolina. I like them quite a bit entering this upcoming season. Georgia Tech. I like them as well. How about Tennessee? Somehow didn't get.
Take them all then.
Sorry.
Yeah, just take them all.
Somehow Tennessee didn't get mentioned in here. And boys, Kentucky, West Virginia. I like both of those squads quite a bit as well this year.
Did they combine?
Dude, you suck.
Did they combine?
Sitting on West Virginia the whole time.
I did.
You read off 9
Yeah,
of them.
well, I like it.
Not
I like it,
Fill in the
Ben.
cracks.
Hey, if we're gonna really do this off-season thing right, this wouldn't be okay if we didn't rip on you a little bit. I like how he geared up for the last one. Hey, and boys, get ready for this one. Kentucky, West Virginia, I got them both. Fuck you.
Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it, boys.
He got them both in there. It was nice. He's mid-season form.
I like Tennessee and Vanderbilt and North Carolina, and let me just name off all the good. Yeah, thanks.
Florida
Noah.
State's not even going to be a top 25 team this year. I'm snuffed them out.
I guess it leaves us with USC, Upstate, and High Point, Jack.
Yeah.
So which one do you?
Yeah, I think those Upstate. We got a lot to learn, but I think Upstate and High Point's becoming the next like Ohio State Michigan rivalry. I think we were at the center of it, boys.
Oh.
All right, my honorable mentions are all the teams that Noah just said. But who else do I want to add? Oh, you missed one. Can I start the A&M rhetoric yet?
Go
I'm
ahead.
all the way in.
Never too early.
Bro.
You can. Yeah.
But all right. So, all kidding aside, I know that I sat on the sinking ship until I drowned. I'm cool with it. I'm about it. Guess what? I'm ready to do it again. I'm ready to ride it back out of the water like Aquaman. Because when you get an offense with a healthy Caden Sorrell, a healthy Kevin Grovac, Terrence Keel too, that 1 through 30 is going to be the. Yeah, you want to say the fourth? And Chris Akopian.
Don't sleep on my guy there.
I know it's sleeping on him. He was like the number 1 portal player in the country, wasn't he?
He was up there for sure.
He's dude. He crushed. I've mentioned the Cape like 6 times, but I think he hit like 360 in the Cape this year.
Nuts.
No. Oh, no. He said no. Yeah. So what? Those 4 bats, they got to be better on the mound. I think when you lose a couple of veterans, obviously in Prager and company, but I think Weston Moss is gone too. But yeah, I'll start the A&M rhetoric. I'm all in.
I can't fact check you on the Cape stats yet. I'm not that deep in my research, but I believe you, Mr. Cape.
I'll say Southern Miss too, just to not piss off their fans, and also jump Ben on that. No, but I do think Southern Miss will be really, really good again too.
Ben, do you want to hitch your wagon to any of these teams?
Yeah, a couple other teams I like. Kansas, I think, has a chance to improve on what they did last year. They hit the JUCO realm really hard again. Let's see, who else was somebody that caught my eye? Like Dallas Baptist always kind of catches my eye. Big news with them going out to the Pac-12. That'll be huge. I don't know. I mean, I think we hit. I mean, Florida. Did we mention Florida? Nobody said Florida, right?
Florida, but they're always contenders.
Florida and Miami, I think, will both be really good next year too.
Louisville deserves a shout. So,
yeah,
love it. But that's going to wrap up today's episode 11.7 24/7. If there's a topic that you guys, the listeners, the viewers, would like to hear more from us on, leave it in the YouTube comments below. Or hit us up on socials. We're at 11.7 on every platform. You can follow me at NoahB77_. You can follow Jack at J DeLongchamps and or Ben at Ben_Upton5. We will be here throughout the offseason on YouTube, providing fun college baseball banter in the offseason. Do us some favors, though, as we head out of here. Help us spread the word about 11.7 on YouTube. Tell your friends about us. Drop a like. Hit that subscribe button. That way we land on YouTube browse pages. And your help will keep our content free for consumption, but also two, it would allow us to keep our drive to continue providing quality and fun college baseball content throughout the offseason. With that being said, adios, amigos.